you talk about guiding spirit, you know, the last elections, even before that, we saw him. He was there out with them all through the campaign. So most people never even thought he was going to suffer that particular stroke. Now that he's gone, how is this likely to affect politics in southeastern Nigeria, specifically the All Progressive Grand Alliance?
Well, it will really, because you remember him telling them that the last parting gift they have to give to him was
yes, he actually said that.
Voting for P.2. Yes, now we have seen Rochas as well. But like I said, the peculiarities of the Southeast politics may not give in for any commander or commanding influence of such stature any longer. The way it is, Ekwueme had not been able to wear that mantle after Zik, because the way they fought the Second Republic politics in Anambra State was, to say more or less, very shameful and disturbing. Let me say that. What came out of that politics was...
You were in the assembly then?
Yeah, I was a worker in the assembly, not a member of the assembly. I was there then, and then what happened? Even on the news, on the radio, then if you go to NTA and Radio Nigeria, what they did to the personality of Azikiwe was to say that it's better forgotten than remembered. So all those issues, then the issue of Ikemba Front, Obosa and the rest of them, nasty petty politics that in the end did not augur well for the Southeast. And like I have always said, if 70% of Nigerian population are from 35 and below, what we need at this moment is a generational renewal of our projection towards the future, not the ethnic-based alliances that will take us nowhere. Let me say this. We have heard of all stories about Ohanes and the rest of them. When Abia State wants to lay off workers, they lay off their fellow Igbo men we have seen. The second Niger bridge, we are still toiling with it. If I'm in Lagos and I have my livelihood, my productive years in Lagos, I'm supposed to be a Lagosian. In America, Ronald Reagan left Illinois, came to California, governed California as a governor, and before he walked into the White House to rule America. It has come to a time that we will see more in moving progressive Nigeria forward than looking back. Yes, they have done a lot for us, but now those of us who belong to the upcoming generation should be able to see ourselves as Nigerians. It is easier to look at the critical point in today's Nigeria. If Lagos today has its own power station, it will be able to run a railway on its own. All of us collectively, and if I can come out and contest election as a Lagosian because I am here, and then I will be able to see a future in this country, because Zik did it in the 40s.
You know, you're talking about leaders.
Exactly. And succeeded, yes. Then he himself, he came back, was in King's College, mind you, and when he came back, he improved the law by saying, I will not move away from this house. It is my father's house.
You know, he was a young man when he
came. And the governor of Lagos State. We saw that. And then he himself, in 2003, Obasanjo and Ojukwu up to Supreme Court. And Ojukwu and Yaradua. So he developed the law. He was proactive. And then we have to be able to build on a holistic. That's why I'm saying that our history is now, we are now really getting history through social sciences, social studies in primary school. It is not to the best of us, and then we should be able to build a strong and future dynamic Nigeria through a collective mass, which now, they exemplified.
Talking about that now, in the many condolence messages that have been sent, one striking one is one from the ACN that said, you know, much as yes, they will miss him, but they still feel that the causes that he stood and fought for haven't been addressed fully. Do you agree with that?
Well, the causes he stood for, like I said, it will be very, I won't find it interesting using a 21st strategy, 20th century strategy for the 21st century. That is one thing we have to bear in mind. Like now, the underlying tool now is the Republic of Biafra, then AFC, and then the what do you call it?
They refer specifically now to federalism in its true sense.
Federalism in a true sense is this. I have asked all of them, where is your blueprint towards Nigerian federalism? You have all aggregated your entire schools, 110 universities. into one jump. You are calling us for federalism. You have now gone into creation of sovereign wealth, just like SS Crude, that we are not in constitution. And you didn't even have the guts to think of roads. Like I have said, 90% of Nigerian beggars are from the north. The north has ruled more. Otherwise, we will not see that. 85% of the hawkers on West African sub-region are from Igbo land. Ohaneze will not see that. What we have a social malaise today in Lagos, the area boys, 85% of them are from Yoruba land. So all of us have a collective influence of what Nigeria is. We don't want to address it. It is subsidy or the removal of non-subsidy. I have said, what stop Mobile and the majors from establishing a refinery in every part of this country? If we are honest with ourselves. And how many times will you toy with this issue of removal of subsidy? Remember under Babangida, we had commercial and private filling stations. We have been on this thing for almost 25 years, and none of the refineries have worked. Cote d'Ivoire has one refinery from where you were even importing petroleum products into Nigeria. So these distractions, we have had more of them. If we want, I have told you, the day you even call for that your sovereign national conference, you will see they have no meticulous detail of what they earn and what they will do and give to any person. So conspiracy of the elite in telling us all this should go. We that belong to the age, who are not bearing this, we are talking of the governors telling you that if you remove subsidy, they will be able to pay 18,000. That was how it started. Now we are there now. The president signed a minimum wage act, an act of the National Assembly, for goodness sake. After how many months? Why would we grapple on that? So the basic issue...
Because, Mr. Anyaegbunam, I'm sorry to butt in there because we're really running out of time now. You're talking about the basic issue, but again, if you look at the late Ikemba, there must be some kind of... because people have gone into the books to see that he was truly even under his 30s when he started his leadership feat in this nation. What can the young Nigerian learn from all of that drawn from the late Ikemba?
The beauty of Ikemba is that he was a man of courage. Let me be honest with you. He had courage, had the fighting spirit, and then from early enough, like I said, he left King's College because of a riot. When he was in London, he would park his Rolls Royce near that of his lecturer who was driving a Opel or whatever. Then he was able to come back to that same country and stay to the end. So he was tenacious. But whatever happened, he goes through and had the patience, which the young generation will be able to do. And then that will augur well for us. But we should now look at a collective whole of Nigeria. We have said to keep Nigeria one was a task that must be done. After Biafra, he came back and joined in the fold of keeping Nigeria what? One. Having kept Nigeria one as a task that must be done, and which go on lived for. And the 3 hours of reconciliation, reintegration, and rehabilitation, he is a beneficiary of it, and he believed in it. And then all of us will now pull in, because since 1970 to now, the roads have not been fixed. There is no electricity, there is no functional health care when we are talking about this. So we are now sending people to India. South Africans have done
so the rehabilitation hasn't taken place. Is that what you mean?
The rehabilitation of the roads, now we are not talking of the human race. 75% of us are in the youth, they are unemployed. Our schools are producing functional illiterates because there is no facilities. So if we reorder for a future Nigeria where the young coming generation will be as flamboyant and as proud as the Ikembas and the rest of them who contributed to the history of this country, then we will meet the promised land.